Next up, let's talk about the rest of the transfer stories we've got for you today, starting off with Marcus Rashford, interestingly enough. And Javit Tanganga's agent, Roberto Di Fanti, has claimed that Tottenham recently held talks with Marcus Rashford. He says, but he does go on to say that Man United want between 70 and 80 million for the transfer, which makes the deal seem improbable. And yeah, we may as well just stop talking about it now if you're talking about 70, 80 million. For
him. We're never going to sump up that cash for him. But I'm actually a fan of Rashford. I know he's been terrible for about 18 months now, but you got to remember where he's at. You know, Man United are just a bit of a shit show at the moment, and he's got a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of pressure around him, and he's being a Man United boy. Coming through the ranks, being supposedly was supposed to be the star boy and stuff like that.
He's got star quality about him, though.
He does.
He really does.
I'm saying that's why he's maybe struggled recently, and that he's had his off pitch things have happened. Obviously, great for him, and feeding the children and stuff like that. It's all fantastic. But he has maybe taken his eye off the ball on the pitch recently. But maybe he needs a move to refocus. And I would definitely take a chance on him because I think he would be great in our system. I think he'd be very good under contact. I think he works really hard. He's actually. He's got a good attitude, I think, always looking to improve. I think he's got a very good strike on him. But I can't see us spending 70 to 80 million, no chance.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I'd like him through the door, but being a Man United boy as well, I think that Ten Hag will probably look at Rashford and seeing that he's the one that maybe he can get a tune out of. So I can't see this being a goer whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd like him though. I think a lot of people would immediately look at that potential and think, oh, no chance, I don't want him, he's rubbish. But I don't think he's rubbish.
No, I agree with you. Next up, let's talk about Harry Winks, as Matt Law says that Tottenham midfielder Harry Winks is top of Frank Lampard's list of Everton targets, but would be likely to want to take him on a season-long loan ahead of a permanent move, seeing as Everton are in a bit of financial difficulty at the moment. Would you be open to letting Winks go on loan, or you just want to just sell him out?
I think a loan with an option to buy could be good. I think, because at the moment we are going to, as much as we value Winks at whatever it is, 20 million. If you want someone like Everton to come in and to pay that money, it's going to be difficult for them without him proving his worth to them. So I think from Everton's point of view, a loan with an option to buy makes most sense. It probably makes sense from Winks' point of view. It gives him something to prove going into his next move, as opposed to having that big transfer fee around his neck, or a transfer fee around his neck, and having to prove himself and being under pressure. He kind of goes into that club knowing that he has to make that year work for him, and has to make sure that he's proving himself to earn the move. So I think it makes sense for me, a loan move.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to it, but I'd prefer just to get him off the books now. But you know what?
In a perfect world,
in a perfect world. But unfortunately, this isn't a perfect world. But I've got to say that I've always hated Frank Lampard, but I'm starting to like him in Everton a bit recently. First of all, they took Dele Alli off our hands when no one else would, and now potentially Winks as well. So any more Deadwood we can shift to Everton?
They're linked to Bergwijn as well.
Yeah, Bergwijn's not so much Deadwood, but I mean, who else can we shift to them? You know, maybe a Joe Rodon, or I don't know, someone like that.
Yeah, exactly. See who else?
Matt Doherty, Emerson, shift them all out to them.
Be nice. Become a Spurs light.
Yeah. Next up, we've got some quotes from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. They asked him about if he could see Christian Eriksen joining Tottenham this summer. And the quote is, "Of course I can." Then there is the question of whether he himself can. But of course, I can see that Christian can contribute something on that team. It could be fun for all parties. Do you think they've been talking about this in the changing room?
100% they've been talking about it. I have no doubt in my mind that Højbjerg is trying to convince him to come to Spurs. Absolutely no doubt. But it's all about Eriksen. 100%. And obviously Højbjerg never got to play with him, did he, at Spurs? He left by the time he came. So he's coming into a very different Tottenham, Eriksen, as we've said before. So
if he comes, yeah.
If he comes, he's coming into a very different... we're in a very different stage than where we were when he left. So I think it makes sense for us definitely to want him, and I think there is a reason for him to be interested. I really believe that, and hopefully Højbjerg can work his magic.
Let's hope so. You know, there's a few different factors. You know, we've got Højbjerg and also Conte as well. So I think that both of them should have enough pull, as well as Tottenham being in the Champions League and going in the right direction as well. So
He's got a lot of friends. Dyer, Kane, Son, all still there. Lloris.
yeah, but you know, there's been links to Man United, and obviously there's the links between Ten Hag and Eriksen as well.
Yeah.
Are you worried at all that Eriksen could maybe pick Man United ahead of us?
I think there is a case for it, just if he could, because I think if he wants to try something new, and he wants to go to a massive club at Man United, even though they're not in Champions League, he might know he could be a star there, and he could take his profile maybe to a different level, and you know, I think Man United's such a big club, there's always that pull there. And especially with Ten Hag now, they're at the club, maybe they're going to play the kind of football he wants to play. So that's definitely, there's a case. But I think it probably makes just about more sense moving to Tottenham. But definitely, Man United could definitely put up a good case, and he could easily pick them.
We have heard that he wants to play Champions League football.
Yeah.
So that could be the deciding factor. But next up, we got quotes from Louis van Gaal on Steven Bergwijn, and he says, in the Netherlands, he scores, he gets assists. It's unbelievable. And then he goes back to Tottenham and never plays. I mean, Van Gaal is trying to shift him out to Ajax. That's the second quote we've had on him about Steven Bergwijn.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah, he's spot on. He is spot on. And it's something that I've been consistently saying throughout the season, to be honest. And I think, look, we've said it before, but I think it suits all parties now for him just to move on if he's not going to play. To be honest, it suits Bergwijn more than it suits us. But
apparently there's a quote here from Bergwijn saying, now is the time to leave. You could say that my suitcase is already packed. I cannot afford another season like this, and it's tough mentally too. Well, that just goes into everything we've been hearing about Bergwijn, what we've been thinking over the course of the season about how unfortunate it is, how much game time he's been getting at Spurs. It's not just been under Conte as well, it's been under other managers who maybe haven't trusted him as much as they should have. And it is a big shame, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, especially second half of the season, he was kept out by a very potent front three. It was hard for him to get a look in. And now in a situation where he's spent another whole season pretty much not playing that much, off the back of under Mourinho, where he also struggled to get into the team. It's time, you know, in his mind, he definitely has to leave.
Is it a bit different next season with 5 substitutes coming in?
Definitely, it is, but it's kind of too late, or in a way for him, because he can't risk it. He could be thinking logically, next season Champions League, 5 subs, definitely it's going to be more game time for me. But imagine if okay, I'm going to stay, and then 6 months' time he's still not playing that much. It's like, why the hell did I stay? Yeah, he can't risk it, especially with World Cup coming up. Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, Harry Kane hits 50 goals for England last night with his penalty in the equaliser against Germany. Harry Kane is now the second highest England goal scorer of all time, and only 3 goals behind Wayne Rooney. A few stats for you here. Tottenham striker Harry Kane has now reached 50 international goals in 71 appearances, in fewer games than Messi, who it took 107 appearances, Cristiano Ronaldo, who it took 114 appearances, Lewandowski, who it took 90 appearances, and Neymar, who it took 74 appearances. That is monstrous stats there from Harry Kane. And Harry Kane has now more England goals than every single player who has represented Arsenal since World War II added together. That's incredible. That's mad, really. Yeah. What England players represented Arsenal? I can't remember. The only one that comes close Ian Wright? Was David Platt. And you can add David Platt in there, but the goals that he got weren't whilst he was playing for Arsenal. Bloody hell. That just goes to show the quality of the man. He's going to absolutely annihilate Rooney's record. He's going to blitz it. He's going to get probably 20, 30 more goals. It's going to be a record that no one's going to break for a very long time. 100%. Because he's on 50 now. He's 29 years of age. Let's say he's got at least another 4 years in the England squad. I think he could even go longer, but let's say conservatively he's got 4 years left. He could easily get another 20, 25 goals for England. Agreed. And it's going to be extraordinary. But yeah, what a man. Great penalty again. He was unlucky before. He had a few chances, didn't he? Which he missed. Which I'll tell you the truth, I didn't watch the game last night. He could have got a hat-trick, to be honest, yesterday. Should have really had one. He'll probably be annoyed that I heard he played well, though. Yeah, he did. Bellingham were our best players, I heard. Him and who, sorry?
Bellingham.
Yeah, Kane was great. He was a thorn in Germany's side throughout the whole game. He was just unfortunate. Neuer was on top form, and his shooting boots weren't quite there until he got the penalty, and then he slotted it all confidently to as he does to his left. He loves that finish as well. 100%. I can't think of a better one. Maybe Ward-Prowse is a pretty good one, but I think Kane just so consistently finds the corners as well. He has a range. You could go any way, and he can find the corner.
Yeah.
He's just so good. Harry Kane. So I think, congratulations to him, 50 goals, and he'll probably beat it before he even goes to Qatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the record.
In the next 12 months, do you think Harry Kane, well, maybe not the next 12, by the end of next season, by the end of this season finishes, Harry Kane will be Tottenham top goal scorer and England top goal scorer?
Very good chance. I think it's very likely that's going to be the case. He only needs 3 to be England, and then he needs about, I think, 18 or 20 goals to be Spurs. So very likely. I would say it's nearly guaranteed.
We're watching week in, week out, literally a legend before our eyes.
Yeah.
Before our very eyes. Back when, when he's retired and it's all said and done, we're going to be sitting there with our kids if we have them, or with our young family, and we'll be like, we watched Harry Kane play.
100%.
And that's what it's going to be like.
And it's just so funny. Do you remember, when he first broke into the team, he had those Jesus memes about him being the savior, and everyone was joking because everyone was like, oh, he's not actually good, but he keeps scoring.
Yeah.
And now it's like he actually is the Messiah. Like, it's so genuine. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. It's crazy what he's done to himself, because coming through the ranks at Tottenham, nobody thought, he would be a regular for Tottenham, never mind to do what he'd done.
It's just unbelievable how far he's come. It still baffles me whenever I see him, how good he actually is. It's still incredible, but there you go. It should be a lesson for all young strikers.
Absolutely. But I think that brings an end to all the news stories we've got to you today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we've brought to you today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll be back very soon with some more content for you guys. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.